Hey there. Well, I decided to start watching this year's beekeeping activities. Kind of do a not a series, just some videos following me as I do my beekeeping. This is mainly I started doing YouTubes here and there, just a few, maybe 3 or 4, just to show different activities that I do to my people that follow me on my Facebook page. And that Facebook page, I mean, it's not a lot of followers, but it shows that it's where I sell my honey, or at least advertise my honey, and little factoids and things like that about the bees. And then every now and then I'll put on a YouTube video so you can see a whole process of what I do, because sometimes I explain things and then I don't have enough video feed on there. So I did a few YouTubes. I have a small channel I've had for a while. Mainly that channel is to share videos with friends and family. But I think I'm going to go ahead and just do it. I thought about it the other day. I'm going to buy a new microphone for this. That's why I'm kind of close for this camera. It's not got the greatest microphone, even out of the waterproof case. But I'm learning it. I'm not a videographer. I'm not a professional with it. This isn't going to be a video series about this is how you do it. I follow many guys on YouTube. And, there's some of them that this is how it is. This is how you're supposed to do things. And I really don't follow them too long. I follow guys that like to say, this is how they do it, and these are ideas they have, and these are things they've tried, and that's what I do. I'm gonna do these videos as showing you how I do beekeeping, what I've learned. You're gonna get to see mistakes that I make. You're gonna get to see successes that I have. You're gonna get to see things that have been tried and true for me. They've worked for me. I've only been in this 7 years now, and going on 8, I guess it is. And like I tell people, I've done a few lectures at some meetings and a couple of videos. This isn't me telling people how to do things. This is the things I've seen and things that work for me. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just let the YouTube community follow me. Maybe the page will pick up. Maybe there'll be a bunch. Maybe there won't. I don't know. Follow me in my year of beekeeping. So it's December. It's just after Christmas, and we've wrapped up a season back in October. We pretty much put everybody to bed and left them alone. We haven't been in the bees, and all I do during the winter is just check them every month or so. I pick up the back of the hive and see how heavy they are. See, the key is leaving enough feed in there. All that smoke, I'm burning leaves, but make sure you have enough feed for the bees, and that's the only thing I'm doing during the winter. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I have a couple nucleus colonies, NUCs I call them, and they're 5-frame NUCs, and they're light. I identified them about 3 or 4 weeks ago as being light, so I put dry sugar on top, and that's basically an emergency feed. These were hives that were weak, maybe swarms. I'd have to look at my book to see where I got them from. They were probably swarms I caught late. They didn't have enough food going into winter, so what I'm going to do is go in and throw some sugar on there. We call that emergency feeding. Basically, I put a piece of newspaper down and I dampen it a little bit and then put the sugar on, and as the condensation of the hive through the cool night temperatures and the afternoon temperatures creates condensation, they tend to drink those drops that are created off that sugar. They'll eat right through that newspaper, they'll chew it and move it out of the way, and then that'll be a guarantee that they make it through to spring, because the key is getting your bees through without starving them. Now, you leave enough honey on them in the spring, or in the summer, going into fall, then you're good to go. And that's where most of my hives are. They're good and heavy. They've got plenty of honey. But what I need to do is go in and just administer some sugar to these things, make sure they make it, because what we want to do is come into March, and as the flowers start blooming heavier and they begin to bring their own nectar in, we get them through, we build them up, and then from that point on they build themselves up and off they go. So the key is getting them through. So we have a few hives. Like I said, I'm so far only, I think two is all I have. That should be all we need to put sugar on. So just follow me around here, and we're gonna grab the camera, throw a bee jacket on. I am gonna suit up because they're active now, and I go through my hives kind of quick. I'm kind of rough through them. I don't take my time, so I suit up. You see a lot of beekeepers, they don't suit up, and hey, that's their business. I suit up. I don't wait for them to decide to tell me that they're in a bad mood that day and then suit up. I go ahead and put mine on now because I don't like getting stung up too bad. Anyway, let's get going. Let's throw some stuff on, grab my smoker. I'm gonna go ahead and light my smoker up, and then we're gonna jump on it. All right, so what I do when I light my smoker, I use pine straw. If I'm gonna be out for a few hours working hives, then I'll put the pine straw in, and then I will go and put wood pellets in. And those wood pellets will burn for a while. They'll smolder for a long time. But pine straw works really good. A lot of people use it, that I can tell. And they get me a good flame going. And they say the hardest part of beekeeping is keeping your smoker going. Alright. There we go. Burning good and hot. I've only got to do those 2 hives and probably won't even need that much smoke. So I'll just get enough going to, I'll get enough going to keep us going just for a little while. It really shouldn't take long. Oh, that's why I forgot to fill my water jug up. I got a mister I can mist that newspaper with. I don't really have to do that. There'll be enough condensation, but I do go ahead and do it now because it's warm out and they're flying. But if I mist it now, it'll get them chewing through that newspaper a little bit quicker. I went and picked this up before. Plenty of it. So I pack it in good and tight. You never know, you get out there and then all of a sudden you find something else to do with the bees, and next thing you know, you've been out there for 2 hours. So there we go. Woo, smoke. That'll do us. So there you go. So again, what I'm going to do with this video is this little YouTube thing is I'm just going to follow myself around as I do the simplest tasks and the more complex tasks. Show everybody what it is in a year of beekeeping, basically from coming out of winter, so there won't be many videos now because again, I don't do much with them until, well, January I'll do some box switching, and then February I set up some swarm traps, and then March I'll do my splits, and then in after March, probably after the second week of March, it's going to get busy then. But until then, there's not much. But my hope is to go through every little step of the way. I'll do some time lapses where I'm not putting up hour-and-a-half videos. I hope to keep these things about 20 minutes of just hey, here's what I do, and here's what I did today, and here's some of the things that work for me. And again, it's not a research channel, it's really just entertainment. But everybody's doing them, so I'm gonna do one too. All right, I'm gonna get my bee suit and I'm gonna get ready to go. Okay, so I don't have a cart or anything with me. Whoop. I'm just walking with my hands full. I don't have far to walk. I keep well, pretty much 90% of my hives stay right here around the house. I moved them around when I first started to get more space, maybe get certain different types of nectar, but when it's all said and done, it's too much trouble. I got the space here to keep 20 to 30 hives. I like 15 to 25. That's a good number for me with a full-time job. And it keeps me busy, plenty busy. Produces plenty of honey for us, on a good year. And helps us offset the cost of having them time. So it's good to have them here. I have a few at another place next door. I have a few over in Livingston Parish. But those will all come back. When it's all said and done, I'll have them all back here, so I can just work them at home. That way when I get off work, I can do everything I need to do. I don't have to go across the parish or anything like that. So All right, well, let me get set up. It'll take us a few minutes, and we'll go from there. Oh yeah, they're flying. They're bringing in pollen. Oh. Okay, so here we are. We're back at this hive. I hope that it's focused in on. I'm sure it is. Let's see if I can turn this down a little bit. Oh, there we go. Again, not a videographer, but if I can do enough to get everybody the idea of what I'm doing. So let's get a little smoke on them. This is really easy. Don't even know how many are in here. They haven't been open. They have not been open since, oh goodness, maybe October. A little smoke inside. Shouldn't need a ton. Just to... Oh yeah. Not many bees. Again, it was small. See the hive beetles. What we do with those, we kill those things. Those things are deadly to a hive. They hide under that lip. This is a beetle trap. See, they hide. That kills the beetles. Not many bees in here at all. Since it's warm, I'll take a look. They probably ran down. This was a hive I got out of a tree. You can see the rubber bands left over from. Let's see what kind of stores they have. Yeah, it's light, very light. Let's see what we can get. This is the only thing when you don't open them much. Boy, they get glued together. Oh wow, yeah, there's very little honey and a lot of beetles. See all the beetles? You can see all the beetles on there. That is not good. Beetles don't kill a hive. They're opportunists. They take a weak hive and ruin it. Yeah, they have little food. It's not cold enough for them to be clustered, so. But they're on. There's some nectar in there. So they're not starving. Hang this up. They're definitely not starving, but that's what we're here to prevent. It's for them running out. This was a swarm that was in a tree. Actually, it was a hive in a tree. That's what we call open hive. And I cut the wax out of the. And look at the beetles. Oh, I hate those things. They are so detrimental to a weak hive. But I cut this wax out of a tree and rubber banded it inside the frames, and we put them in here. And so they had no food going in. They just didn't have a chance to really build up. And that's why they're where they're at. That's why we need to feed them. Tend to be a lot of controversy in feeding, but not for me and not for anybody that keeps their bees alive. I don't have a problem with it. I know I'm doing it to sustain them, and the ones that don't need it, I don't do it. I don't feed just to feed. I feed when I have to. Actually, they've got quite a bit of food. That's all capped honey, and there's open honey. I may just hold off. If it was cold, I wouldn't go through here. Let's see, that honey. Goodness. So this is one of the combs I cut out. You can see where they mended it together. The rubber bands are holding it. Let's see if we keep these alive through the winter. There'll be a fine hive in the spring. I didn't notice the queen. Go back there and see if we see her. She's in here, I'm sure. Let's take a look. Let's see if we see her. I'm gonna look real quick. One thing I do know, they have enough food, so we're not going to actually put any sugar on there. That's good. I'd rather not put sugar if I don't have to. Now, they will probably need some, maybe into January. We'll check them then. There she is right there. Make sure the camera's on her, but she's right there. I'm pointing with my tool. She's just a short, squat queen right there. I hope the camera's catching it. That's her. Right in the middle. Well, they got food. I'm not going to feed them, so... Again, I don't feed them if I don't have to. You know, I don't have to feed these. And they have beetles, but there's enough bees to control them for now, I hope. We'll find out. There we go. Let's get this beetle trap back in. And I don't know if we can see this or not, but they'll go in here and they'll make these little things with propolis, and they'll trap the beetles inside these little jails underneath here. That's why it's not always good to just open your bees all the time. I mean, keep them closed, let them do what they do. That's my opinion anyway. I try not to open them too much. But when you're a new beekeeper, you open them all the time because it's just exciting. So I'm gonna turn my brick back normal instead of sideways, knowing I don't have to feed those. And that's good. I'm happy I don't have to feed them. Again, I don't feed unless I have to. So we're going to take a quick look at this other one here. I'm going to get this kind of set up. There we go. Very few beetles in this one. 2 beetle traps in it, but very few beetles. So let's take a quick look. This is a very weak hive. This hive used to be in an 8 frame. I'm sorry, 10 frame. I don't do 8 frames. Look at the beetles in there. Look at the beetles they've caught. That's why there's none. This hive was very, very weak and continued to get weak. And it had to go into a 5 frame. See how they're ornery? They're starting to buzz me. They don't like me being in here. I don't have a bunch of high hopes for this one. Old number 15. We're going to take a quick gander at them. Yeah, they have no food in here. Well, I say that. There's some food. And honestly, I'm not terribly... Oh, wow. I'm not terribly interested in seeing the queen. I know they have one. They had one going in. I doubt she's gone. Just worry about how much food they have. If it was cold, I'd just throw the sugar on and not worry about it. It wouldn't hurt to have it again, but it's not cold, so I can go through real quick. There's actually some brood in here. Yeah, but they're light on stores. They have not much food, so we'll feed these. All right. Oh yeah, plenty of beetles. That's a good thing, though. These are. There's some honey in this one. Some pollen. Yeah, they have. There's some honey. They're small, so they won't necessarily need a lot of honey. But yeah, this is a very weak hive. I doubt this hive pulls through the winter. It was weak going in, but we'll give them every chance they can. We'll give them a fighting chance. That's all you can do. Alright, let's get busy. Here's what we do. Take this. So let's do this. Hopefully the camera is pointing in the right direction. Basically. The newspaper. Dampen that board just a bit. We'll put this shim right here. That gives us room to put the sugar in. We pour the sugar in. This sugar is going to be hard next time I go in. It'll be a big block. The condensation is going to hit it. It's going to wet it. It's going to dry. It's going to wet. It's going to dry. And then pretty soon it'll be a little block. They call this the mountain camp method. That's the name of it. I just call it emergency feeding because that's what we're doing. I'm going to put one trap back in. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to put both of them back in. They're keeping them in there, so. Let me put them both back in. Brush him back on. Let me put our lid on. That's a feeder hole for a bottle feeder, but I'm not feeding them with a bottle feeder because it's going to get cold. And we don't want to feed them liquid in the cold. I'm going to put that on there. Turn it sideways, we know we're feeding them. That's it. Let's head on back and wrap this up. I actually took more time than I planned just to kind of explain everything, but let's wrap this up. Okay, got everything gathered up. I think they're doing fine. I really don't, I don't expect that hive to make it. And I say that because it's just weak. It's been declining. The queen is in there. I didn't see her. I didn't look too hard for her. I'm gonna put this here for now, but I didn't look real hard for. I'm gonna weigh this hive. Yeah, they're kind of light. They've got food. It's a different hive, but that hive has been in decline. She's an inferior queen. Now I'm gonna give her a chance to live. You know, I'm gonna give that hive a chance. I'm gonna feed them. There's times though where I won't feed them, or I won't, even in the spring when there is nectar, I won't tend to them and try to prop them up. Because sometimes you need to let nature weed that out. My goal, and what I learned from, I call him a mentor, he's really my teacher more than anything, with Mr. Julian Lane at his workshops. And he was big on genetics. And you're starting to hear a lot more and more about that. By keeping, you know, the gene pool, the genetics in your yard to your liking. So sometimes I let those inferior hives, if they're inferior, just let them die out sometimes. But, you know, it's still alive. There's a cluster of bees there. It's enough to cluster for the winter because we don't have that horrible winter. And if we do, they might freeze if they're not big enough. But we'll see. So why not give them a shot this time? You know, and if they make it through and they begin to build up, I'll requeen them. Maybe I'll put a better queen in there and see if we can get them built back up, because it did used to be a good hive. I'm not sure what happened. So we'll see. Putting all my junk down one-handed here. Anyway, so that's about it for now. Took a lot longer than I was planning, just because I was going through a lot. Normally that would have taken me, I don't know, a few minutes. Let's set this tripod up. It would have taken me a few minutes to go through, throw some sugar on. If it was cold, like I said, I wouldn't even have went through the frames. But I wanted to show the footage in the video, so went through the frames real quick. It took us 20-30 minutes to get done, and normally, like I say, just dump the sugar on and move on. But I'm real happy to say that right now, at this point in time, I don't have that many hives that are light, and most of them are really heavy, so they should be fine all the way through February into March. The ones that aren't, well, I'll go through and put some sugar on those if I need to. I'm gonna check again in January, probably mid-January, run through, feel them, and all I do is I pick them up in the back. I pick them up, and they're good and heavy. Kind of got a feel for it, and I know where I'm at. All right, well that's it. Like I said, I'm gonna keep this going. I think won't be a lot in the winter time, but springtime it'll pick up, and hopefully we'll be able to do some decent videos, and I'll get better with the camera. And it's not gonna be scripted or anything. It's just gonna be, you see what I see and do what I do, and get to see the mistakes I make, and hopefully get to see a much more success than I do than mistakes. So for now, you guys, hope you like it. If you do, hit the like button, and we'll move on from here.